Hi there. Hope you are all well. In the previous episodes, we discussed the importance of pop-up stores and we discussed the pop-up stores' atmospheres. We have done a previous live session and we detailed the 10 most important things that you should think about when designing a pop-up store's atmosphere. So today, I'm going to look at some contingency plans that you should be thinking of when developing your pop-up store. As it's very important to respect the timing of the pop-up store, and due to the nature of the pop-up store and its short period of time, you cannot allow yourself to do any mistakes because you need to make sure that you grasp every opportunity and make most of the time that you are present during your pop-up stores event. So today I'm going to look at these 5 contingency plans in order for you to make the most out of your pop-up stores project, especially if your pop-up store is going to last only for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. The first thing that you should be thinking of is making sure, and this is crucial, I really highlight this point, you should make sure that you are connected and that you have a Wi-Fi connection in your pop-up store. Do not go into a pop-up stores project if your store is not connected. You need to make sure that you are connected because you need to grasp every opportunity of engaging with your target audience on the spot and interacting with them and allowing them to spread the word about your pop-up store. If you have a Wi-Fi connection, you will make sure that every customer who doesn't have a 3G on his phone could connect on your Wi-Fi network and connect on his social sites and hence share every little detail that he would like to share about his experience and visit to the pop-up store. Sometimes customers would like to take the opinion of their peer groups or peer group members. Maybe they are willing to purchase a product or try a product on and engage with other people or friends and take their opinions. You should create that opportunity. Therefore, it's very important that you do not miss any way due to technological fault to prevent your customer from creating that engagement opportunity during his visit into the store. Also, connected people who visit your pop-up stores will entice other members or peer group members to come and visit the pop-up store. And this is very important as your project also aims at grasping the greater amount of people and it hopes to also spread out the word to the biggest target audience. The second most important thing or the second contingency related to your pop-up stores project is the test of your hardware and your software. Most of the times, popping into a location and due to shortages of time or incapacity of the team members or insufficiency of the team members on site, you might be missing out on some technological tools, or maybe you would have done some technological faults with your hardware or your software. So I need to invite you to test all your hardware and your software before opening your pop-up store. Test the light, your stereo. Are you playing music? Is the sound good or not? And if you are playing ambient music, did you get your music files or your CDs? Are you having an event in store? If yes, do you need a microphone? Are there going to be interactions between people? Sometimes sports brands do lots of on-site classes and they need wireless microphones. Do you have those? Did you get them? Did you test them? And most of the times, the pop-up store, and this we have elaborated during the previous live sessions, do include technological elements such as digital screens and so on. Do you have the advertising material or the content that you're going to run on those screens? These are just some of the examples that you should be thinking of when developing your pop-up store, and hence the contingencies that you should have in order not to miss out on any opportunity of creating the amazing experience for your customers' visit. And we have talked in previous episodes about the importance of having checked all the permits and the insurances before going to your pop-up store's location. I need to highlight the importance of checking those permits, because you cannot allow yourself to have any trouble on the day of the event, especially if you're doing an important opening event for your pop-up store. If your pop-up store, for example, requires people to be on the outside, are they allowed to have an assembly outside? If you require people to park in front of the pop-up store, do you have the permits for those parkings? Do you have people who are going to help out in parking the cars, such as maybe engaging in an agency who will assure valet personnel and so on? Did you get your insurances in line for your team members, for people? Did you check every aspect of inside insurances in case you had any negative event during your pop-up store's opening? So you have to think about all of these things, because your pop-up store should not encounter any negativity, as people would also spread this negativity around. So we always say that pop-up stores help us share information about our brand and exchange information about our brand. And we hope always that this information is the positive one. So you have to make sure that you exclude any possibility of having a negative event throughout your pop-up store, because the negative word of mouth would equally spread, and it would spread sometimes faster than the positive word of mouth. The fourth most important thing that you should consider as a contingency when you open up your pop-up store is making sure that your POS is functional. Most of the times, the objective of a pop-up store is to induce on-site sales or to liquidate merchandise on-site. As your pop-up store has a limited duration, you need to grasp every opportunity to sell your products if this is your main objective. Therefore, you should make sure that your POS is functional. If you are accepting cash or credit cards or any other types of payments, you have to make sure that all of your outlets are ready to accept these different types of payments in order to not to lose any opportunity of selling. For security reasons, we see that most of the pop-up stores are using today only, or they are accepting only payments by cards and not by cash, in order for them to secure that they will not have any incidents with their team members regarding cash transactions. So make sure that you have your POS and it is functional, and make sure that you have all the slots ready in order to receive the payments on site. If, however, you are sending your customer on another site to do the purchase, then this is our fifth contingency that we're discussing today. You have to make sure that all your promotional links are functional. This means that if in store you only wish to develop kinds of events or types of interactions that relate to testing a product or engaging the customer in an experience related to the product, product, you might want to send them on another channel, such as your website or your physical boutique, in order to do the sales. In order to do that, you could have developed specific promotional codes or QR codes or links that the customer is going to use in order to do that transition. So make sure that these links are functional, because sometimes we might technically forget to switch the on button or click a little check before the links are functional. Make sure all of these details are tested, are checked, and that they move the customer from location A to B, that is the right location. So, by that, I would have explained to you 5 very important contingency plans that you have to consider when designing your pop-up store. As today, the design of the pop-up store is very crucial, and the event that you are going to propose to your customer is going to add value to your brand, you cannot take any risks in having any mistakes on the day of the event or the period of the event. I hope that this small session had been beneficial to you. We're going to meet again very soon to discuss other aspects related to the pop-up store, to the pop-up store's design, and some pop-up store locational strategies. And I hope that you have been benefiting from these episodes. I invite you to visit our profile to check all of the previous episodes on pop-up stores and ephemeral retailing. And don't hesitate to log on to my YouTube channel in order to get all of the episodes that has been developed on the topic. And by that, I wish you a good evening and hope to see you very soon. Don't forget to meet me this Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT +1 for an interview with Pop-Up United. In order to talk about the business, about the service of pop-up stores, and to discuss the importance of pop-up stores to brands and why they can be beneficial today to the commerce and to businesses. Thank you all for joining, and have a great evening.